What Money Can't Buy: The Moral Limits of Markets by Michael J. Sandel. Introduction, Markets and Morals. In the introduction, Sandel explains the central purpose of the book, to explore how markets have expanded into areas of life that were never meant to be governed by money. He argues that modern societies have drifted from having market economies to becoming market societies, where almost everything is up for sale. He raises an important question that guides the rest of the book. Even if markets are efficient, are there moral boundaries they should not cross? Chapter 1: Jumping the Queue. This chapter examines how money is increasingly used to buy time, convenience, and priority access. Sandel provides examples such as paying to cut in line at theme parks, buying faster security checks at airports, or hiring people to wait in line for you. He explains that these practices create two classes of citizens: those who can pay to bypass inconvenience and those who must endure it. The chapter raises the concern that when money determines access, the basic idea of equal citizenship begins to erode. Chapter 2: Incentives. Sandel explores the growing use of financial incentives to influence behavior. Governments, schools, and companies sometimes pay people to lose weight, quit smoking, get good grades, or even show up at community events. He explains that incentives can be useful, but they also risk crowding out moral motivations. When people are paid to do the right thing, the action may lose its intrinsic value. Sandel asks whether society becomes weaker when civic duty is replaced by financial reward. Chapter 3: How Markets Crowd Out Morals. This chapter dives deeper into the moral effects of markets. Sandel explains that markets do not simply distribute goods. They also express values, shaping how people view one another and how communities function. Using examples such as paying children to read books or letting companies buy the right to pollute, he shows that certain activities are corrupted when transformed into commercial transactions. The central idea is that markets can change the meaning of social practices, and sometimes for the worse. Chapter 4: Markets in Life and Death. Here, Sandel examines the most extreme examples of market expansion, cases involving life, death, and the body. He discusses practices such as buying and selling organs, purchasing life insurance policies on strangers, and allowing companies to pay for pollution rights that may shorten lives. The chapter raises difficult questions about dignity, exploitation, and the limits of consent. Sandel argues that treating the body or human risk as commodities can undermine respect for human life. Chapter 5: Naming Rights. This chapter looks at how money influences the symbols and spaces of public life. Governments, schools, and stadiums increasingly sell naming rights to corporations or wealthy donors. Sandel explains that this can change the character of public institutions, turning shared spaces into advertising platforms. He argues that civic life weakens when public honor becomes a commodity available only to those who can pay. The chapter highlights how symbolic values can be distorted by financial incentives. Conclusion: The Moral Limits of Markets. In the conclusion, Sandel summarizes the book's core message. Markets are powerful tools, but they must be kept in their proper place. When money governs areas of life that depend on shared values, trust, or a sense of community, society becomes divided and morally thinner. He calls for a public conversation about where markets belong and where they do not. Justice, dignity, and civic responsibility, he argues, require drawing clear moral boundaries that money should never cross.